Hey guys, we are waiting for Luka to join us in TeamSpeak so that way we can talk to her about her role-playing lessons in Shroud of the Avatar. She should be joining us in just a moment.
User joined your channel.
That's fine. And I think our guest has arrived.
Hello.
Greetings, Luka.
How are you doing, Luka?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
I'll see if I can get under 3 streams now. There we go. Doing good.
That's okay. The important thing is to mute all the sound from all the streams so you're not too distracted.
Oh, okay. And I am looking at Cinesist, I think, now.
Yes, that's me. So that makes it easy.
Hey, that's
Yes,
what
hi.
the place looks like. Awesome.
Well, right off the bat, Woodrow wants to know what the name of the bar is.
The name of the bar will probably be Tavern of the Drunken Elders or something fairly generic like that.
Yeah, he was asking right there in the tavern, so I figured I'd drop that on you. So no official name as of yet?
Well, what I figure is that that name will go to the official town bar when we get our town.
That makes sense.
See if I can get on the right track. Oh, okay.
I went ahead and typed it out for you. Okay, so Luka, it's okay that you're AFK for that. So your role-playing lessons, can you give us a little bit of information about that? And the proper way to roleplay?
Oh, there is no proper way.
By jumping right up on the bar and telling you right there.
That there is no proper way to roleplay.
There really isn't. I mean, I started role-playing, gosh, when the internet first got here. And, you know, in chat rooms and text chat rooms and whatnot. So it was all, you know, typed out, you know, like our first MMOs were. But we were very serious about it. And so there's, you know, a lot of different ways you can approach it. The first time I tried to do serious role-playing in an MMO, it was really hard because you know, you're serious role players, you know, when you're in that mindset, you want to be in character all the time and you want to be, you know, portraying this person and progressing storylines and things like that. And it's you know, it's hard to do in an MMO because when the beasties come around, you got to kill them, or, you know, the PKer who's not really role playing anyways comes and kills you. You have to deal with that. So usually if there's any you know, role playing at all in an MMO, it's very, very casual.
Okay, so what about the person that, say, that role plays the PKer who really isn't like that? Because that is also a role playing experience.
Yes,
I could argue with that.
Yeah, I've dreamed about that ever since I first was exposed to, you know, PKing. Well, not when I was first. That would have been UO, and that was a disaster. But
were you like me? The first day of UO, you walk outside of town and you're outside of Britain, and you're immediately PK'd by some dude that's wearing the orc mask with a ghost robe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we tried for a while, but we ended up giving up on that. But the past 6 or 7 years, I believe, I played on Siege Perilous, which is the PvP shard. And I learned how to wrap my head around it, perhaps in a more healthy way. the extra excitement about being in a environment like that was a lot of fun once I got to know how to survive.
Oh yes.
But as far as role playing goes, I'm glad to see as much as I've seen so far. And that goes for the community in general as well, because I like the events. I like getting together with friends. I mean, I do like going out and killing things, but an MMO will get old for me if I don't have friends to play with. And at one point when I first started playing at Siege Perilous, we had really good, well, can't say they were all good. They were a lot of obnoxious PKs at the time too, but we had a lot of community involvement, and the PKs needed the crafters and the crafters needed the PKs, and it kind of made things more like a community-driven economy and whatnot, like we're trying to achieve here. So I really have a lot of high hopes, having almost seen something work out that way.
Okay, that's actually really cool. One of our viewers on Twitch right now actually has a question if you know about Safe Haven.
Yes.
Okay, I figured you did. Okay, so let's bring this back to Shroud since it is in pre-alpha.
Sure.
Majority of players right now, and you are trying to bring more role-playing action into the game.
Yes.
And the game mechanics partially support role-playing with some of the emotes, but
Still very clumsy, but yes.
Yeah, it's very, very clumsy. I noticed earlier tonight during your class that you discussed using additional characters actually to portray different actions. You want to go ahead and enlighten us as to what those are for everybody else?
Oh, the terminology.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of things that are confusing for new people, and really, what I'm trying to do is appeal to people who haven't role played before, or who are very new at it, or don't know how to start, and put them at ease, because it can be very intimidating. To start up with a group of role players that have been role playing for a while. I mean, they don't know what to expect. And it's really just kind of my goal to go over casual role play and some commonalities between all the different kinds of role playing, and give them a place to kick off and start, so they can at least walk into a bar as they're walking down the road and play along for a while.
Okay, so that's actually, I actually love the role-playing aspect that we have here with some of the events that we've had. The fishing event with Winfield, because fishing isn't in the game yet right now, so it really does become stand around and act like you're fishing.
Exactly, and that's another opportunity that people that are wanting to just try it out can do it. And it's a really safe environment right now. Being pre-alpha, most of us that are doing the community stuff, we're getting all used to each other, and new people come in every day, and we're getting to know more and more people, and I think it will be a good base for when things get started down the line. But for now, I know that just getting their feet wet. I mean, they don't have to get serious about it. Just join in and hang out.
Builds the game and the community, I would believe.
Oh yeah, that is
I've
Ronnie, by the way,
oh,
and she is actually our resident role player.
Howdy.
Hi, dear. And this name is also mine in North Shield, the kingdom.
Okay.
I've met quite a few of us from many kingdoms. It's fun. I like that we can actually go to events online in the game when it would be so much harder for us to reach them.
Yes, it is. It's opened. It's a gateway of creativity, you know, and it's not just.
And
I have had so many
keeping in
times.
touch too.
Right, exactly. I've had to make choices sometimes between creative activities and, you know, playing a game online. And usually I have to choose a creative activity that's offline or even on the computer just to be myself. But in a situation like this, the way this game is being molded and how we are helping it be molded, to have more of a community where you can be creative, where things are more customizable, where, you know, I can sit and create a map and someday see it in the game is just amazing. Much less things like shields and banners and things like that that we may have the ability to do later on.
Coming.
Okay, we actually have another question from one of our Twitch viewers. This is from Ingwar, who he states that the difficulty that he has with role-playing is he's not a fast typer, and he can't keep up with the conversations. What would you suggest for people like him?
People like him and people like me, to be honest. I'm in my 50s, you know, and I've got a very relaxed lifestyle, and I don't read fast, and my eyes don't let me read fast, and I can't type worth beans. So to conduct the class, I had, you know, everything set up in SSE, like most good teachers would. And as far as trying to keep up with everybody just a few minutes ago in the bar, it was very hard for me too. Usually what will happen is that people will, you know, corner up in different parts of the bar and have their own little conversations, and then you would try to zone out the other names. It'd be nice if we had a way of playing with the colors of our names in that way if we were role playing, but I don't know, you know, what kind of solution as far as looking at the wall of text goes. It's kind of difficult. But I know I missed at least 3 or 4 responses that I should have made because I just couldn't track that all. It's a very human thing, and you'll see as we go along that my spelling is atrocious, so that's not unusual.
Perhaps a channel like this you could talk on. That would be helpful.
Now, do you end up like playing around with the window sizes as well?
To be honest, most of my characters are male, so that wouldn't work.
No, I've actually had Lazarus make references to the fact that my screen is extremely
cluttered. So you craft
cluttered.
out of game too, then?
Yes, I do. I like to draw, I like to paint, learning how to paint on the computer. I finally invented a stylus that I can actually draw with. I like to crochet and simple things like that too.
From his own view. Sorry.
That's fine. That's wonderful. You have to keep busy, that's for sure. One thing I've noticed in the game is technically crafting a lot easier than crafting in the actual role-playing communities out there, where they take it so serious. Some people have their own sheep that they make their threads out of.
Oh yes, the Society of Creative Acronym is one of the biggest groups that do that. I used to belong, but I just could not get as serious about things as they got. When it came down to hand stitching, hand woven, you know, coarse cloth made from actual, no, takes too long. Life is too short.
That's where it's nice to have a game to pop in and play.
Yeah.
This is sorry to break into this one. Have y'all, either of y'all, since y'all are both role players and you're both involved at one point in time were involved in SCA, have y'all actually made the suggestion to the developers to add like a role-playing tag similar to the PvP tag that will actually flag role-playing chat as a different color?
I actually never thought of it.
I tend to unite. Rather than divide.
Okay.
That's a point. That is a point.
If you catch one of my drift.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Because
I
see
did notice.
that happening with the PvP group. I do see that.
Yeah, I did notice that earlier that whenever you were inside the bar, we were supposed to all be in character, and in order to break character, we were supposed to put text inside of parentheses.
Yep, it's just a courtesy.
Yes.
People keep what they're reading straight. You might say something in parentheses like, something about your cat, or you'll be right back or something, and that way they know if your post is late or non-existent that something has come up.
Yeah, I just don't want to see another resurgence of OOC. I gotta go to the restroom. OOC. I gotta let the dogs out.
Oh, you know what my favorite one is? My favorite one is OOC. I am so bored.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I haven't seen a resurgence of that here, at least not as of yet.
Not here, no. But that was always like, just even the last time I belonged to a role-playing group a few months ago, we get these girls come in, and it's like, oh, I am so bored, and I just want to say, then go find something else to do,
Exactly.
Don't cry for help to me.
Now, do you rely on the overhead chat or the text box?
Text box. I would totally miss everything if I was looking out, which is why I have trouble with responding to the emotes, because there is no, and this is one thing that we'll talk about at some point too, is a lot of times I won't use an emote because most of the people aren't even going to see it. Like from the way I'm sitting right now, I basically can see the top of my head and the bar, and then you three closest to the bar. So if, say, Elmo up on the steps emoted something, I would never see it. So a lot of times if I'm in a big group, I will try to type it out, in asterisks. I'll type out claps in asterisks or something like that.
Now, what was the difference between the asterisks and the tildes?
Nothing really. The tildes are sometimes used by more, elaborate characters. The only person I've seen use it here is Ravicus.
Okay.
If that tells you anything.
I saw some mixes of both tilde and asterisk earlier in the evening.
Yeah, people will, eventually find, what they want to do. But the more common is the asterisk.
And tilde is a little easier for me to get to on the keyboard.
Well, then by all means use it. I know in some places I use like a dash, just because that's what will register within that format that I'm in.
I've been doing it for so many years. I usually do a / for my emotes, even in chat. It's just how I've been known.
Well, you're understood that way by most of these people anyways.
Through a few games and a few guilds along the way, I'm probably close to your age. I'm going to be in my mid-50s.
That's when it all began.
Yes.
Now, my middle child could out PvP with his eyes closed, but I was there first.
Isn't that fun to watch them grow into those characters and stuff and have fun with it?
The only time that I ever played in the same MMO with him is it was a game called Asheron's Call 2, and the only reason why it appealed to him is it had a lot of variety in how you applied skills or points to skills and things like that. It wasn't as open as this one is, but it was a lot closer than anything else we had at the time. And I would watch it, all my friends were like, oh, are they going to join our guild? I'm like, hell no. He's a PvP guy. He'll be off somewhere else. And it was fun watching him play that game and, overhearing some of his little his trash talk and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, my husband does that kind of thing too.
My boyfriend will get all mad about
We like to play.
Yeah, my boyfriend will get all mad about some PK or something, and I'll say, well, that is just a kid. He reminds me of Frankie, my son, and he'll be like, oh, if he ever comes in this house acting like this, I'll just laugh, because they aren't necessarily bad people. I mean, a lot of them are trolls, but it doesn't mean anything.
Well, the internet is full of trolls.
Sometimes if that's their way of getting, then having them do something in the real world to hurt somebody.
Yep. Get a lot of that out in here is better.
You betcha.
And who knows where I'd be right now if I couldn't get in game and kill things.
We all
Might
need
take
our
a
places
button.
to vent our frustrations.
I miss the real fishing. That was always fun.
Yeah, we're anticipating fishing.
Now, if the devs watch this,
Real fishing.
what kind of things would you like to? What kind of improvements would you like to see to facilitate better role playing in game?
Better role playing in game. Well, they've already done my number one complaint, and that is making us have the ability to sit. There's another game that I was involved with for a while that's still in alpha, and they still haven't got us sitting, and I keep telling the developer, it's like, look, I have to be able to sit. I will not last long. I cannot stand here like an idiot. And I don't know why that bothered me so much, but the sitting is important. I think hand gestures is important. Can already meet another player's eyes. That's kind of neat. I don't know. Maybe some of this, the chat things that you brought to my mind about, keeping the conversation straight. That might be something to think about.
Actually, that makes me think maybe an ability to actually flag the color of an individual's chat would actually make that a lot easier.
Maybe. I don't know. It would have to be, something you set up on your own screen. Maybe there's some way to set it up in the tabs. I'm not sure. Because you would have to be able to see everybody else's chat in case something big happened.
It would have to be triggered by some character or something.
Right.
That you'd make universal.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think the issues as far as ability to role play actually does make part of the experience a little bit more immersive. Just let's see, were you one of the people that was curious about whether or not beds were ever going to be functional in game? Or were you more worried about the stork?
No, I really don't care about either of those. I've done so much text-based role-playing that props are fun, but they don't have to be there, because if you're inclined to do those sorts of RPs, it's best to leave it to your imagination anyways.
Or
keep it in PMs.
For the uninitiated, when somebody just walks up to you out of the clear blue that you've never met and starts calling you by name, how should a role player handle that?
In this scenario, where casual role play is going to be 80% of what you're going to see, I would say ignore it. If it's a new person asking questions about role playing, then explain it to them. It seems like a small thing sometimes, but it's so much more immersive if people don't assume that they know your names. I tried to post tonight in such a way that I wasn't assuming anything other than just seeing patrons in a bar, and that way I thought, well, maybe we could talk about it next week.
Yeah, because I've always been curious how to handle that. You'll be in a group of people, and some newbie will run up and you might have the easiest name in the group for them to pronounce or type, and they'll be like, Joe, where do I find the weaponsmith? Joe, and it's like, how do I know this
Right.
guy? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I'm immersed in a role play situation, the last thing I want is somebody who absolutely does not know me walking up and trying to ruin that experience. So, but I do understand, the newbie factor you got to take into consideration.
Right. I think in that case, if they were asking, where something was, I would respond to them in parentheses and then continue role playing. If they were
politely answer the question and move on.
Exactly, because but I would do it in I would do it in parentheses, so that way you're recognizing that they are not part of the role play, and other people can kind of okay, let you handle it kind of thing, and then let it go. It's going to happen more so, I think, like different people this evening was calling me Luka, but I've never role played with them before, so they really, oh no, at one point I did say my name was Luka, that's correct. But you know what I'm saying. It's like you just, most of the time you're just going to let it go, unless it's somebody that comes around a lot, or if it's someone that you think that they might be okay. The thing that you can explain it to them, but the thing that worries me is that you might come off as an elitist, and it might push them away from role playing.
Understandable.
Now, let's see. How do you feel about elaborate in-game instruments, to where if you picked up a lute or got to the piano and turned your keyboard into actual keys? What about that?
That would be so cool.
We have to thank Ingvar for that, because he's bringing that one from Lord of the Rings Online.
Wow, that would be awesome. I noticed whenever they put the piano in, I started seeing them around. Wondered what they were going to do with it.
I think it is supposed to be fully functional at some point in time.
Nice.
Because Lord British has stated in previous cases where everything that you're supposed to manipulate or be allowed to manipulate, you should be able to manipulate. So you should be able to pick up things, you should be able to break things. Tech OC also made a comment about in-game items and placing items on the ground anywhere.
Yes.
So that would allow us to actually put up. You would actually be able to just put out a bunch of mugs on the bar and allow people to take them.
Right. That's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
As far as leaving stuff laying around, but yeah, that would add to the atmosphere.
Yes.
I mean, being the owner of this bar, I could go upstairs and get the bottle of wine and put it right there in front of Amber, but in other situations that wouldn't be possible.
No, and that requires you to actually be paying attention to every single bit of the conversation, and as you already said, that wall of text becomes easy to lose something.
That is not going to happen.
Yeah. But that is actually kind of like real life, and waiters and waitresses that miss things.
Well, that's something to take into consideration, and I don't know, another thing I hope to remember to bring up next week is that, the more people that came into the bar, the less you're going to be able to distinguish various conversations. I'll pick up various tidbits, and when someone hollers out for more ale, yeah, I'm going to hear that, but I'm not going to hear the entire interchange that was going on over there where Rain was, where they thought that the wine was poisoned or something. I can read it and enjoy their role play.
They area in your chat. More range.
Oh, really?
That would be a point for the dev.
Yeah.
So you can hear everything in the tavern.
Was there, how far can we hear from each other?
We could always test that right now. And,
Okay. Because this is a village lot, so I guess I just assumed that we could hear.
Well, I could hear everybody in the room tonight, but I don't know about outside once you're out of the boundaries of the walls.
I could hear everybody outside, but when I came in, it depended on who I was interchanging with in the conversation.
Huh, that's interesting. Because when I first went over to the academy earlier today,
I'd hear theirs.
I was practicing to see if I had the speech in my program right. And I went upstairs, but they could still hear me downstairs, so that was kind of weird.
If you look at your in-game chat, you can tell me what numbers I've counted up to so far.
4.
Yep, 5.
5. 6. Try up on the roof too.
That was a 7 with a slash.
8.
Yeah.
8.
Okay. Yeah. So, and that gets you pretty far. Need to take alt walk mode off.
We need something in between running and walking, because
Jog.
it took me forever to get out to the middle of the room.
I'm on the little balcony real quick first.
Okay. 10.
Yeah, so that's the little balcony out on upstairs. I cannot open up your roof for some odd reason.
Really?
So you'll have to open up your roof for me so I can use the ladder. I know it's there, but I can't open it.
I don't think it actually opens.
Oh, that might be the case too. Now,
Maybe I have to put you on permissions.
Yes, please make me a trustee. Everything will stay here.
All your ale and wine will be safe. Trust him.
All of your beasts of burden and your ale will be fine.
I'd be more worried about coming home to find cup sculptures.
Well, earlier today, you missed.
Now try it.
Someone actually was being threatened with a guillotine, and I rescued them. Nope, I cannot. Oh, there it is. Yes.
A guillotine? How do you threaten someone with a guillotine?
Well, they were role-playing.
Yeah, but
They were underneath a... Okay, did you see my
They
number?
were role-playing being tied up and
I
in front of
gotcha.
a guillotine. Yes.
I gotcha.
It's if you have lumpdizzle666 on your Twitter, you can see his tweet. Now, I said 2 numbers from the roof.
11 and 13.
Okay. Well, you were outside when I said them both, so...
Never mind, I was outside.
Yeah. Did you see them on the inside? Lazarus or Ronnie?
Yeah, I saw them. Why?
Okay, so you saw 11 and 13. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That answers that question. We can see
Yes,
everything
yes,
on this
I
entire
did.
lot. And a little bit outside of it. I'm not worried about the back of the house.
I don't think you can get anything on the back of the house. This house seems to go right to the very edges, except for in the front.
We wouldn't want to hear those conversations anyways. Yes, I'm going to try to post this onto YouTube and then also onto the NBNN stream as well, so that way we can go over some of the role-playing information and the casual role-playing
Let me know when you do. Our website would like to have a copy of that too, so let me know when you get it up.
I still have to say the Order of Drunken Elders is one of my favorite guild names.
Thank you.
I've said that before to someone else in there. Don't know. Who else is in the Order of Drunken Elders?
Tazar is our leader. Flair Minamoto. That's good. Total mind blank here. Belly Mar. Locky. Raven Swiftbow, you might have met. Robert Frost.
I think it might
There's
have been
Lazarus.
Raven
Ian
or
James.
Raven Swiftbow. One of those two I probably told that I loved the guild name. Or it might have even been you at one of the other events. But as soon as the developers hear some of the possible concerns from our role-playing community, they might be able to address some of those issues. And we can also flesh those ideas out a little bit more.
I was really surprised at the response to the classes have been. I used to teach similar classes in Second Life, and even as big as their community is, or maybe because it's so big, it just didn't go very far.
Well, also, I think with our community, we have participation and support for every event.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it. And I really like that. I mean, I know sometimes it seems like, it's just us, veterans that are coming, but when a new person or a group of new people come and there's other people here, I think it really helps them feel more welcome.
Yeah, so we like to get a little bit of everything covered with NBNN, but the BMC, they do try and represent at every event possible to make a showing and support everybody else in the community as well.
I have noticed that, and I wish my guild was more involved in community things, but I know there's several of them that are working a lot in real life, and also working on the webpage. They've been working on an information webpage for not just the guild, but for the game.
Stuff, yeah,
they do a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
But it's always nice to see this community support. I can attest from first-hand experience that this community is awesome.
Yes, it is. I can't believe the amount of support we get for a little bit of everything for a game that is pre-alpha.
Yeah. And I think Lord British is doing a great thing by allowing the community to be involved, and he has realized how much it means to us anyways.
I think it means as much to him too.
Yes, I think he knows exactly what he's doing. My opinion is the man is crazy as a fox.
I think so too.
It's a good
So all those
crazy
people, all those people like ourselves who didn't have the big money or the incentive to buy into the games that he did earlier in the days.
Oh yeah.
We've been waiting for this game for many, many, many years. We didn't know what it was going to be called. We didn't know what it was going to be, released. But we knew that someday he would come back and do this.
Yeah,
He's banking on the fact that most of us now have some disposable income to throw right at it.
Way too much disposable income, apparently.
Well, once you get the bug, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So once you get bitten by that investment bug, you go, oh, but only one more little add-on, but only one more town.
Well, I figure we would probably be paying $20 to $30 a month on some game somewhere anyways. So why not put a little monthly into this?
Exactly. Because in the long run, there's not going to be a fee for this except for buying the game outright.
Right.
And I think that's going to attract a lot wider audience.
Yes.
That 16-year-old kid who can't afford $15 a month to play online, but he can get mom and dad to buy him a version of the game for Christmas or his birthday or a graduation present is going to make a world of difference in the player base.
Yeah. for good and
Our
bad.
boys have
but
been
yes.
hinting they might want their own too.
That's another story in itself there, Ronnie. Gonna have to get 2 more rigs for the kids.
3 more.
Oh,
it's
good
3?
Lord.
You forgot husband.
Oh, he's got one, though. Oh, he's just gonna need a newer one.
Yeah.
I just got to get him more RAM.
RAM is cheap. RAM is cheap. Okay, I'm going to set up the looping video for the marker for the close. So that way it's easier to find the edit spot.
Okie dokie. You do what you need to do there.
Yeah.
We should be getting on over to the